Hi, my name is Kelly Amos, and today for your tiny health tip, I'm going to talk to you about probiotics and prebiotics. I'm a health coach, and nutrition, fitness, and behavior change are my specialties. And recently, I went through kind of a bad deal, which I'll tell you a little bit about in just a minute, but it really drove me to look more into pro and prebiotics as far as your gut health. Hi, Shauna. Hi. So the difference between probiotics and prebiotics, to keep track of it, you hear probiotics, you hear prebiotics, but what's the difference between them? Probiotics are actually live cultures, live strains of bacteria, whereas prebiotics you can think of as the fertilizer that feeds that bacteria. So our gut, our microbiome it's unique to each individual, but it's really important to all sorts of things that go on in your body. And there are different things that we can do to feed it, to nurture it, to help incorporate or just keep including that good bacteria, keep feeding it, as well as things that we can do that really harm it and hurt it. And that's something that happened to me. So I want to tell you about explaining what they are and what the difference is between the two of them, who needs them, and how do you get them, whether from food or supplements, and what you need. If you are supplementing, then what are some things that you need to be cautious of and things that you need to look for. So first, who needs them? Well, everybody needs them. Whether or not you need to supplement, you may or may not, and at times you might go through a phase where you need to supplement more, but the important thing is that when you're looking at your probiotics and your prebiotics, it's important to incorporate them every single day because, again, they're alive, they're active, and you need to keep replenishing them. So eating certain types of foods can help you, but it also is specific to what your conditions are. So it's not just, I'll just take a probiotic. You really need to do some homework, and you need to know if you're taking it, why are you taking it? Are you taking it just for general health, which is something that I do, or do you have something that is specific that you might need to address, in which case you need to go with some specific strains of bacteria that will aid that. For instance, if you have anxiety or depression, or you have high cholesterol, or you have digestive issues, if you get bloated or gassy, or if you're constipated or have diarrhea, ADD, there's just a list. If you have skin conditions like eczema, then there are certain strains that are going to address that. So that's something that, again, if you're taking it for a specific need, whether it's just a temporary thing or something a condition that you struggle with, then you really need to do your homework. So what about how do you get them? How do you get them? Well, you get them from food. And so if you bananas, apples, these are just the things that I have in my house. Garlic, onions, leeks. Because of being on some antibiotics, I'll tell you my story in a minute. Kimchi, taking a few swigs of kombucha, and you all know that yogurt, but you do need to be careful about yogurt and make sure whatever that it says that it has the active cultures because bacteria being living, it is very sensitive to heat, so you can kill it, and that's something that goes along with the supplementation. Again, you want to be sure that if you are supplementing for general health, that's one thing. But if you've got some condition that you probably getting your gut healthy is going to help you no matter what. But make sure that you're getting the strains and the types that your body needs. And with a supplement, it's really important that you have something that is quality. How it's processed could have killed it. How it was transported or how it was stored. So you really don't know when you're just pulling something off the shelf out of the cooler at a health food store with your probiotic. You don't really know unless you do your homework. So you really want to go with a brand that is reputable and has had third-party testing. Because of what I do for a living, working with people and teaching, I have an account with Consumer Labs, so I can get in and I can see different brands and if they've been tested and if they're approved or disapproved, and if they come with some other stuff, and if what they say is on the label is actually there and if there's any extra stuff. You guys, you have to appreciate that the supplement industry is unregulated, and so if you're going to take anything, then you need to do your homework, or you need to get information from somebody you really trust and know that if you're going to spend your money on it, then first of all, do you need it? And second of all, make sure that it is of value and it's going to help you. So I recently traveled to Europe, and those of you that know me know I drink Shakeology every single day. So basically I do eat these foods as well as other foods that are good, probiotics and prebiotics, but I also drink Shakeology every single morning, and I add Digestive Boost, and I do take a probiotic supplement. So that's what I do. We were in Europe for 2 weeks, and I opted to not take, I did take my probiotic capsule, but I was really bad about taking it, and I opted to not take my Shakeology and my Digestive Boost with me for 2 reasons. Number one, it was because I was kind of scared of going through customs so many times because we were in 4 different countries. I was afraid that it would hold us up or something might happen. So I was just trying to be on the safe side and travel lighter and not risk getting us, that I'm carrying something that is threatening. But the other reason is I really like to collect data on myself. I like to see what my body likes and how it thrives. And I've been drinking Shakeology pretty much at least once a day for 8 years. And I wanted to see how my body rolls without it. I mean, what's the difference without it? Well, turns out my body sucks without it. And I, midway through our trip, got something wrong with me. And I didn't know what it was. And when we got back, I went to the doctor. And so today I took my last antibiotic this morning, and this is since May 24th. I've been prescribed 4 different antibiotics, and I got 2 different bacterial infections. It was in my throat, which makes sense because it's coming from your gut and things are going to travel up. And these were all things that just are not normal. They're just not normal. These don't typically get out of hand, but they did with me because I think that my body was just so conditioned, and this was my health. This is like if I had traveled to some dry climate, like if I had gone to Vegas or something for 2 weeks and not taken my lotion. My skin would have been all cracked and dry and whatever. And so that's really what my regimen here is for me. So I put myself at risk for bad stuff to happen, and it did. So now, one of the things about anytime, that when you take an antibiotic, everybody pretty much knows, unless you've been living in a cave or never taken an antibiotic, you need to take a probiotic at the same time, right? Well, if you're taking them together, you're going to take that probiotic and you're going to take your antibiotic. Your antibiotic is going to kick its ass, so it's going to win. It's going to beat up the probiotics that you just put in. It's going to kill that just like it's killing the good bacteria in your gut. So you really need to separate. You should be taking I'm going to encourage you to take a probiotic, as well as, if you aren't eating these foods, start. I don't drink a whole thing. You just have to take a few sips. Eat a little bit of yogurt. Have a banana for a snack. Have an apple for a snack. Make some guacamole and put some onion and some garlic in. Again, the fresh raw food is best because we don't want to kill it. So if you do supplement when you're taking an antibiotic, you need to separate when you take your antibiotic by about 2 or 3 hours, so that that probiotic is going to be effective for you. Then afterwards, so right now I'm doing a heavy hit of probiotics, a 5-day, it's a max care thing that my OB nurse practitioner said this is a good one. So I trust her, I respect her. She knows I like to take a holistic approach to my health, and so I'm doing that. That's not something I need to keep doing. All I need to do is get that good bacteria growing again, get it back into me, and then I just need to keep feeding it with a healthy diet. So I hope that this was helpful. It really is something that if you can take. I was talking with somebody today, and I get asked about intermittent fasting and all these different diets and meal plans. And number one, you guys, first have a good foundation of healthy eating. I mean, if you don't have a good foundation of healthy eating and exercise, really finding some, diet or something that is really taking you away from where your foundation should start. I'm not dissing them. I'm just saying that make sure that you have, wherever you're trying to travel or experiment or collect data on yourself, make sure you're coming from a foundation of firm, solid, wholesome nutrition and regular exercise, because then you can really see what does work for you. What does your body like as far as the tweaking of things? I would love to hear your comments or questions. I also am going to be getting back on the Tiny Health Tip track, and every Monday, late afternoon between 4 and 5, I will be doing a Tiny Health Tip. I have a plan as far as different topics, but I would love to hear what you would like to hear more about. So go ahead and post it here, or you can private message me. Anything, whatever the best way is for you to communicate, I'd love to hear from you. Again, I hope this was helpful, and I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section. And if you have any other tips, or if I missed something here that you think is important to share with other people, then please do. And I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you have a great evening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.